bringing you news and information from around the Pacific Command. This is your AFN Pacific Report.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of AFN Pacific Report. I'm Senior Airman Therese Garnier. The U.S. Pacific Command got a visit from one of its closest allies in the region last week. The Japanese Minister of Defense Itsunori Onodera stopped by PACOM headquarters on Camp Smith, Hawaii. He met with the commander of U.S. Pacific Command, Admiral Samuel Locklear, during which they discussed the military partnership between the two countries and strengthening bilateral ties and military-to-military engagements. The minister's visit to Hawaii also included a meeting with Pacific Fleet Commander Admiral Cecil Haney and a tour of the USS Arizona in Pearl Harbor. The U.S. rebalance toward the Asia-Pacific is more than just repositioning American forces in the region. It's also about finding new ways to engage the leaders of other nations' militaries. The U.S. Army is the most recent example of this.
For the first time in nearly 40 years, United States Army Pacific has a 4-star general as its commander. The change of command ceremony took place at Fort Shafter in Hawaii.
Forward, march.
What an honor it is for us to be on this historic field where the U.S. Army's presence in the Pacific has been evident every day for over a century.
General Vincent Brooks was promoted to 4-star just prior to taking command of USARPAC's 80,000 soldiers from Lieutenant General Francis Wrzezinski, who retired after more than 3 decades of service to the Army. The move to a 4-star commander is a key part of USARPAC's role in the rebalance toward the Asia-Pacific.
It reflects the growing importance our nation and our Army place on this region. USAPAC will require a leader that can work in a joint interagency and multinational environment. And General Vince Brooks is that combat-tested leader.
And you're going to be going out and doing the things that need to be done, building the relationships and building security in this region that's going to give us peace and prosperity for years and years to come. And we know you're going to do a great job.
General Brooks graduated from West Point in 1980. His career includes serving as the spokesman for U.S. Central Command during initial operations in Iraq, Deputy Director of the War on Terror for the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Chief of Army Public Affairs, and most recently, Commander of 3rd Army, where he was involved with the Afghanistan buildup. He spoke about the significance of the Asia-Pacific region to the Army as well.
7 out of 10 of the world's largest armies are here in Asia and Pacific. And so to be able to join at a time like this, when this priority has been established by our president, by our nation, is quite an honor indeed, and especially to join such a historic organization as this one.
Tech Sergeant Michael Jackson, Fort Shafter, Hawaii.
Turning to Korea, the U.S. 8th Army has honored one of the ROK's most influential veterans who fought alongside American soldiers during the Korean War.
Fighting is a very, very rough condition.
A Korean war hero remembers his time as a young soldier.
We, South Korea anyway, Americans help used to be this country, very poor country, not like this.
And now 60 years later, 8th Army is honoring this veteran by naming its mobile operational command post after Paek Sung-yup, the ROK's first 4-star general.
There is a tradition in the United States Army to name those things that we're most fond of. We name buildings after heroes, and in many of our best outfits, we name our command posts. The General Paek Sung-yup command post.
Senior Airman Christiana Scott, Seoul, Korea.
A change of command is a unique military tradition marking a formal transition point in at least 2 military careers. Army Sergeant Sean McGuire takes a closer look at one such ceremony at Camp Casey.
A change of command happens frequently in the military. If you blink, you'll miss one leader's chapter closing and another's opening.
Well, I always look back on USAG Casey and the Donachon community with a fondness in my heart because really it's the heart and soul.
Colonel Finley began his career 25 years ago as an enlisted soldier. He credits his success at Camp Casey to his time in the ranks.
For me, being a garrison commander, it was easy because I understood what it was like to be a soldier and how I can help support them.
So what is next?
It's some good rest and relaxation, reunited with my family back in Tampa, Florida with my wife and 2 children. Looking forward to moving south and working for Lieutenant General Champeau as his XO and understanding 8th Army, the higher headquarters.
In the end, Walking away is a challenge.
Nobody likes to give up the guidon because you really only have 3 chances during your military career at command. It was just my time, my opportunity, and I am glad I was given that opportunity. At the tail end of the speech, I said, "Cochin comrade." And that's sweet bitterness.
Army Sergeant Sean McGuire, Camp Casey, Korea.
The saying goes, don't judge a person until you've walked a mile in their shoes. The top soldier in Korea put on a pair of shoes with a 2,425-mile range. Senior Airman Destiny Chavez explains.
These I don't know what it's called, the stick. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm.
United States Forces Korea Command Sergeant Major Anthony Mahoney has served for nearly 30 years, and he's still learning.
Like I said, I've grown up in the infantry.
Today, F-16 pilot Captain Van Morrissey from 36 Fighter Squadron gives him a lesson in flight.
We integrate a lot with the Army, so I think it's really important for him to see the capabilities of the aircraft and also the limitations that we have with some of our current avionics, and really show him what we can bring to the fight and what we need in the future to make that sustainable.
And bring some unique attributes to the battlefield, which I was never really aware of until actually getting to experience what one of these wonderful aircraft can do in flight. I now am aware of some of the capabilities of our brothers and sisters in the Air Force, giving us close air support from above.
Today's experience bridges the gap between land and air, creating a better environment for our future forces.
Because we're all part of a joint team around the world, and especially here in Korea. And it doesn't matter what uniform you wear, your label there on everybody starts with U.S., United States. So it doesn't matter if you're a sailor, a Marine, or an airman, or a soldier, we're all in the same family.
Senior Airman Destiny Chavez, Osan Air Base, Korea.
Coming up, commissary shoppers in Japan see more selections of produce. But first, let's take a look around the Pacific Command in today's snapshots.
USS Bonham Richard sails through the Philippine Sea during a routine joint force operation. U.S. Navy and Philippine Coast Guard divers conduct a diving evolution during Exercise Carrot, Philippines 2013. The commander of Pacific Air Forces, General Hawk Carlisle, briefs the Japanese Minister of Defense during a visit to Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, Hawaii. And that's a look around the Pacific Command in today's snapshots.
Commissary shoppers in Japan are seeing more variety of produce on the shelves. Airman First Class Jacob Hendricks explains why.
Commissary shoppers in mainland Japan now have a wider selection of fruits and vegetables to choose from due to the lifting of a ban on locally grown and processed food. U.S. Army Public Health Command Region Pacific put the ban in place as a precautionary measure following the March 2011 earthquake, tsunami, and subsequent radiation release. The command made the decision to lift the ban after completing comprehensive assessments and fully evaluating the radiation safety efforts of the Japanese government. The commander of Public Health Command District Japan, Lieutenant Colonel Brian Kim, says much has been done to ensure the safety of local foods that reach commissary shoppers.
We studied the data that we had available, and we took samples, thousands of samples of locally procured produce items, and then we determined that it's safe. There was not one item that passed the threshold for unsafe radiological levels.
Commissary officials say what this means to the customer is more kinds of produce on commissary shelves and from fresher sources. Airman First Class Jacob Hendricks, Yokota Air Base, Japan.
5 kilometers is a little over 3 miles and is a typical distance for fun runs. Corporal Michael Lopez takes us to Camp Hansen for a unique running event friendly to all ages.
Okinawa converged on Camp Hansen to go for a run. But there's one glowing difference between this run and your typical 5K.
Good reason to leave the barracks, and something fun and interesting to do that they maybe thought that they wouldn't be able to do outside of CONUS.
This was a family-friendly event. A lot of people brought out their kids in strollers. But one little girl had the courage to run the event with her parents not far behind.
Addison, what are you doing out here?
I'm just trying to run a race.
Camp Hansen's USO 5K glow-in-the-dark fun run helped give runners the chance to go wild with their illuminating costumes. The cool summer night air helped make this event about having fun, while still getting a good workout. Marine Corporal Michael Lopez, Camp Hansen, Japan.
A Yokota Air Base SEER specialist teamed up with a group of Boy Scouts to teach survival skills normally reserved for military air crews. Air Force Staff Sergeant Mike Larman reports from Tama Hills.
So I want you guys to kind of know
survival, evasion, resistance, escape specialists live by the motto, return with honor. Staff Sergeant Robert Rogers is a SEER specialist, passing those words on to a younger generation of Boy Scouts.
All the basic things that we would teach aircrew members, I'm kind of relaying to these kids at a young age, so should they pursue an interest in the military, a lot of those skills will already be in place for them.
17-year-old Chris Carter appreciates opportunities like this.
Compared to a lot of the instructors that I've worked with and merit badge counselors and what have you, he's just giving the basic stuff, just this is how you do it, this is how you save yourself. Whereas the other guys just kind of ramble on about you could do this, you could do that, you know, but this guy's like, this is how you do it and this is how you save your life.
But would a kid like Chris ever find himself in a truly life-threatening situation?
Yeah, probably. You know, I'm an adventurer, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so there's probably something will pop up.
Which is why this training could prove to be very helpful.
There's no, qualified medical personnel to take care of you, so you're doing it on your own.
Just in case.
If you go into a situation knowing that there's a potential bad things could happen and you're prepared for it, then you're going to come out on the good side.
And it's that coming out on the good side that goes hand in hand with the Scout motto, be prepared. Air Force Staff Sergeant Mike Larman, Tama Hills, Japan.
That's it for this newscast. From all of us here at AFM Pacific, thanks for watching.